In this video, we will add animated collectibles to our level. Right now we can move, jump and explore our level, but the level seems a bit boring since there is nothing to actually collect, so we will fix that by adding some collectibles. I will start by going to my imported assets. In this folder we have a collection of fruits, and for this example I will use the cherry. First off, I will start changing the pixels per unit to 16 to match with the rest of our world scale, and I will change the filter mode from bilinear to point. I will hit apply, and you can see when we expand this, the frames are already there, so we don't need to use the sprite editor to slice them. I will take the first frame of this cherry's animation and drag into my scene. To collect it, the first thing we need is to add some kind of collider. So I will add a circle collider 2D, just make sure that the collider matches up with the size. That looks about right. And we also need to set the is trigger. This is because we don't want the player to physically interact with the collectible, we just want to detect when the player touches it. We will also add an animator to this, as we want the fruit to be animated, and therefore I will go into my animation folder, and these are all the animation and controller for our player animations, which could quickly make the folder very messy. So I will create a separate folder for my player, where I will drag all of these into, and I will also create a new folder for my collectibles. In this folder, I will create a new animation controller. I will call it cherry anim, short for animation controller. I will also create a new animation clip, which I will call cherry anim. I will also just rename this in a hierarchy to cherry. You can see we're missing an animated controller, so I will take our cherry anim controller and drag in here. We can open this up and we can drag our animation clip in here. And now we can go to our animation window, highlight our cherry game object in a hierarchy, and here you can see we have the cherry anim. I will go back to my assets, into my imported assets, into the items folder, fruits folder. I will mark all of the frames for the cherry animation and simply drag them in here. I will set the sample rate to 20, and that looks pretty nice. Now that we have our animation set up, it's time to make sure that we can actually collect it, because right now when we collide with our cherry, nothing happens. So I will go back to my assets folder and into my scripts folder, where I will right click and create a new mono behavior script, and I will call it collectible. I will start by deleting the start and update methods, as we won't be needing these, and all we actually need to do in here is to use the Unity built-in method on trigger enter 2D. Make sure to use the on trigger enter 2D and not just the on trigger enter meant for 3D games. And in here we simply want to destroy game object. So this just destroys the game object which this script is attached to, in this case the cherry, but we only want the game object to be destroyed when it collides with the player. So to make sure it does not, for instance, collide with an enemy or collide with our terrain and then get destroyed, we will use an if statement. So if, and you can see from the parameters here, it uses collider 2D collision. This parameter represents which collider the cherry collides with. So therefore we will type collision.getComponent layer controller, and we will cut the destroy game object line and paste in here. This way, when the cherry collides with something else, it checks if that collider also has the player controller component on it, and the only thing that has the player controller component on it is our player. We will save that script, we will go back to Unity and make sure that our cherry has the collectible script on it, and we will also make sure before we play that in our animation and our collectibles folder that a cherry animation is set to loop time. This makes sure that the animation loops and does not only play once. Now when we play a game, our cherry is animated nicely, and when we collide with it, it is collected. Now what we could do from here was that we could duplicate the object and place it around the level, but later on, if we want to use this in other levels, it would be nice to turn the cherry into a prefab. So what I will do is delete the extra cherries, and I will create a new folder in my assets folder called prefabs. Inside my prefabs folder, I will take my cherry game object from the hierarchy and drag it in here. You can see the text turns blue and you get this nice little box icon. That means that the game object is now a prefab. A prefab in Unity is basically a reusable object. Instead of creating the same thing over and over again, you create it once, turn it into a prefab, and then you can place it anywhere you want in your game. The really useful part is that if you change the prefab, all instances of it update automatically. So instead of fixing things multiple places, you only have to fix it once. Let me just show you a quick example of that. Let's say that I placed my prefabs a few places around the level, and then suddenly I find out that I want my cherry to be green instead. I will change the color of it, and instead of now going to each cherry and manually changing the color, what I can do is that I could go to the change prefab. I can go up here where it says prefab at the top of the inspector. I can click on overrides, and I can hit apply all. This will change all of the cherries at once. So in short, we use prefabs to save time, keep things consistent, and make our project much easier to manage. Of course, I do not actually want my cherries to be green, so I will just go back a few times to change that back. And now really quickly in a scene, we've created 3 cherry collectibles. And I think this is a good time for a challenge. Go back into the items folder and create your own fruit collectible prefab. Pause the video now, give it an honest try, and then come back to see my solution. All we need for this, let's take the banana for instance. We need firstly to change the pixels per unit, and then to point for the filter mode, hit apply. Also in the animations folder, I will create a new animation clip, banana anim. I will also go ahead and create a new animator controller, banana anim controller. I will open this up and drag my animation clip in here. Then I will place the first frame of the banana animation in the scene, add an animator on it and our collectible script. I will then take our new banana anim controller, drag to the animator window, and in the animation window for the banana, I will take all of these frames, drag in here, change the sample size to 20, hit play to just make sure that looks okay. Also make sure to tick the loop time box. The banana will of course also need a circle collider 2D, which is trigger. And now when we play our game, we have a working banana collectible. Final thing I need to do is to go to my prefabs folder and drag in my banana. I'll just change the name in the hierarchy beforehand and then just drag it into my prefabs folder. Well done in this video. In the next video, we will add a score system where the score increases each time the player collects a fruit. Until then, thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next one.